Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go. Everywhere we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thanks so much for joining us on another fantastic Friday. I hope you got a chance to listen to Dr. Steve together with Mr. Hart this morning for the record. And we want to invite you to be a part of our discussion here on Talk Today. It's the 1st of April and truly blessed, beautiful day as we get a chance to talk first about the Miss World Cayman Islands. Hey, want to know what's going to happen? Well, stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us as we invite you to be a part of the discussion. Going to have a wonderful opportunity again to speak to some excellent people. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. Hey, let's get rolling, and I'm honored to be able to talk to two of the wonderful ladies in the Miss World Cayman Islands. Miss Alyssa West, the first one up, and Miss Christy Banks, the second one up. You know, it's amazing how in such a small place like this we have such infinite, almost seemingly infinite resources, incredible resources without question, particular vested in our people. As I look at the two of you, I not only see strong intellect, but an enthusiasm and industriousness to apply your talents to the betterment of our country. And as I look at your courage to go up on stage, locally, regionally, and internationally, it's encouraging. So congratulations for all you do for your career and future endeavors, but for now, being an example. So perhaps first to our listeners, you get a chance yesterday to listen to us, and you heard that we're going to be joined today. She finally accepted the invitation. Two of our other colleagues, Miss Catherine and Mr. Ray, sat with us from time to time. But today, no April Fool's joke. The wonderful Miss Anita Foster Khan sits with us, the host of a Business Buzz. So, Miss Anita, good afternoon to you.
Hey, good afternoon, Sterling. Good afternoon, Alyssa and Krista.
Yeah.
Hi. Good afternoon, Paul. Good afternoon, Sterling.
And Ed Bush, he's here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, he's always here.
He's always here.
He's always here. He's always listening and straightening you out. And me.
And moving chairs. And
Good afternoon to all our listeners.
Well, I'm very, 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 very thankful that Miss Anita would join us, especially today being Friday. But for this discussion, maybe at first I can ask, pageantry, for some of us, we have a perception. But we don't understand not just the participation, but the level of discipline and commitment. Alyssa, from your perspective, was it what you expected it to be? Not just the preparation, but the actual pageantry itself, and then what happens after?
Actually, I like that question a lot because I feel like even though we're in 2022 right now, people still have this perception of pageantry as, oh, it's just some girls on stage walking in swimsuits and looking pretty. Like, that's only like 1% of what we actually do. And it takes a lot of training, and you have to be really comfortable with putting yourself out there, and you have to be really confident in who you are as a person and what you want to represent. So I feel like there's so much people don't know about pageantry, and I'm glad we have pageants here that really focus on not just the beauty, but also building you up as an individual.
They should do a male pageant, you know.
Yeah, they should.
The scene rigor is, you know, it's the scene thing. The scene sort of set up, you know, formal wear and all the scene thing. That'd be interesting, eh?
We used to help Mr. Cayman.
Yeah, but that was more like physique, right? And muscular fitness and so on, right? We have Miss Fitness, Miss World, but I talk about the scene thing. How would that be? That would be pretty interesting, you know.
I think it would give men a taste of what we really do.
Yeah.
So I think we should.
You know what? Let's break the bias. You know, male pageantry.
Would you be the first contestant?
Okay, well, it depends. Depends on what the criteria is. If you gotta look good and tall, no, I can't. If you gotta wear high heels, no, I can't. But I mean, the other stuff, hey,
I think you look great.
Thank you. See that boy? That's West Beer.
Right here. I thought you said meal, not meal. You know.
You think about food?
Okay, it's 3 West Beers against 1 Savanian.
Yeah. I wouldn't say you got West Beer in you. We've unofficially, honorarily adopted.
Oh, okay. I feel good about that. I feel good.
We want to elevate you too.
Oh, thank you.
No, but
I'm honored.
I'm not just being attempt to being jovial, but I want us to appreciate, as Alyssa shared, that this is a lot of work. Crystal, without sort of talking to school, I've seen some of just the most recent, but being actively aware of all of the pageantries that went on in the past, and many of the contestants, friends and family. But recently, just watching your schedule, a full-time educator, you know, having to balance, and your commitment without question, even before you were qualified to the children. And then Alyssa, your job, it's no walk in the park either. So you're doing all of that. What about you? I mean, is it that pageantry helps you to be better, sort of in terms of organizational skills, time management? Does it make you more poised to say, you know what, I want to pursue this thing, and this is how it is, whether it's pageantry or whether it's on to your PhD next step? Just tell you.
Well, when I entered, I wanted to build my public speaking skills. I was terrified of that before, and even my overall confidence. I had very low self-esteem back then and whatnot. So pageantry is just more than looks. It helps you build together, and it gets you involved in the community as well. And you then become role models for those younger children, and they look up to you. So it's just more than beauty out there.
And I'll be guided by the 3U for many reasons, but especially as Alyssa shared, it's 2022. And increasingly, we're seeing a lot of lip service to a lot of things. And I'm going to be mindful that I'm not indirectly offending anybody. But even in this country, sometimes we follow what seems to be international standards relative to this, and this. But if we take pageantry, that preparation, the public speaking, the camaraderie, but the bonds that you guys have formed, I've seen it. You guys have shared this publicly. You shared very, very personal, detailed things on there about your growth and development and the like. And so hopefully to our young ladies, they'll see you as mentors, and they'll appreciate that, you know, beauty and whatever else comes is not just what's reflected outside. It's that thing that is so inherently on the inside that we want to tap into. So Alyssa, from that perspective, as we focus on the attributes that pageantry bring, we see the confidence and self-esteem, we see the friendships, we see the public speaking skills, we see all of that. How do we now get this wider community to appreciate that what you're seeing on stage is a combination of a lot of effort, and it goes beyond, you know, that perception that many of us have still labor under?
I think really all we can do is just try to bring awareness to pageantry and everything that goes into it, whether that be through social media or through platforms like the radio or TV. I think that once you really show what really goes into it and how it transforms young women, I feel like a lot more people would be willing to give it a try.
All right, let's pause and take the break. We'll, welcome a third participant, Ms. Anita, and then maybe we can get into it because it's going to be a good day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have fun.
We're going to have fun.
Fun time.
No, we won't do that. Please. Not on April Fool's Day. All right, let's pause and take that break. And when we come back, we're going to announce the first male pageant, coming up yesterday. All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
JN Money. Money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash or use a money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank? Yeah. Pay your bills quick? Yeah. Low fees, you know what it? Yeah. JN Money, we are pick? Yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank? Yeah. Pay your bills quick? Yeah. Low fees, you know what it? Yeah. JN Money, we are pick? Yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman News.
A big day for tourism. Radio Cayman's April Cummings has more from Central Georgetown.
Cayman prepares to greet its first cruise passengers in 2 years.
I'm very excited to see them walk off and walk past my store. These are the first 2 people that have come back.
The positives of a cruise industry to the Cayman Islands is unquestionable.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And again, thanks so much to our colleague, Ms. Anita Foster-Khan, for joining us in this edition of Talk Today as we had a chance to continue discussion with the Miss World Cayman Islands. And we'll tell you about the upcoming deadline. So, Anita, we have 3 wonderful individuals joining us.
And Nicosia Lawson just joined us.
Hi,
Nicosia,
Anita.
good afternoon.
Hi,
How are you?
I am good, thank you. It's been a long time since I've been in the Radio Cayman studio. So
Oh, well, welcome back.
Thank you.
And Sterling?
Once
it feels weird not to be in the hosting seat.
You can have it, you know.
No. I'm happy to be over here.
I got a fishing line calling me.
One calling me too.
We should go fishing. No, man. But this is what I think, as we were, for those who are listeners, we're talking about the coming Miss World Cayman Islands pageant, and we have the first runner-up and the second runner-up, Miss Alyssa and Miss Krista joining us. And the notion that pageantry sometimes seems to have a perception. Do you think it's gone through, or is going through, sort of an evolution where the wider community, not just the pageant sort of fans, but parents of children are saying, hey, this is not your grandmother's pageant. There's a lot more to this, and so it's becoming a greater sense of encouragement on behalf of parents. Alyssa, what do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. I know when I applied, my mom, she was all in for it. She was so excited, and I just hope that these next contestants have that support system going into this, because you do need a lot of support, and I hope that parents are willing to see that their daughters are out here not only just trying to, go on stage and build confidence, but also to give back to the community as well.
Krista, that support, many of us probably don't realize how much support we have, but then there are probably times, unfortunately, when we think we have, it's not to the extent that we want. How do you find that? And when you look at that, as an educator, you got your siblings and your family, then you got your colleagues, you got your students, and you got their parents. All comes together to a strong support network.
Well, for me, the support was always there from my workplace, from my home, with my nieces, from even up to the students. When they found out I became second runner-up, from the next day they were congratulating me. So from the get-go, I had the support, and that's very important because that does help along the way, especially when it gets very difficult.
Now, the deadline is on the 15th of April for some jurisdictions. That's when they got to file their taxes and make the application. What do you say to those young ladies who are considering it, but for some reason they're not quite sure? They feel a little intimidated, they feel timid, they feel like, I don't know if I'm tall enough, I don't know if I'm this. There are always little things that we tell ourselves to doubt our, when the opportunities are ahead.
I would say just go for it. Honestly, you have more to gain than you do to lose. So why not just take this a year to really put yourself out there, try something different, and build on yourself and give back to your community. There's so much that goes into it and so much that you get out of it. I don't see why you shouldn't.
Krista?
Well, from personal experience, I can relate to them because when I was applying for the application, I would start filling it out and I would go, no, I can't do this, no. Then I finally said, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. I submitted it and I said, this is it. And at first, I was like, what am I doing? Can I back out? Is it too late? But then after you finish it, you see your progress and you look back and you say, thank God I joined. It's not just the outward beauty. You gain a lot inwards as well.
If I might ask, and again, and anything, feel free to pivot, don't answer, fix it. It's stayed and shared in the utmost love and respect, and with the intention that parents in particular are involved continually with our children, especially our girl children, to get them to be a part of this. Two things: the changes that you witnessed, were they more evident to you as individuals or to those perhaps closest to you?
I think a little bit of both. I didn't really see the changes in myself until we got to the end, and then I look back and I'm like, wow, I really did that. My parents would always see me and say, you're doing amazing, you're so different in a good way, and we just love this for you. And at the time, I was just thinking, I don't know what you're talking about. I am the same. But when I look back, I just think all this growth that I went through as a person, and I'm just so fond, and I have such good memories. So,
What about you, Krista, if you...
I agree with Alyssa. It's a little bit of both. I remember coming to work and my colleagues saying, I can see your confidence going up. Even though walking is getting better, just everything. So it's a little bit of both. And then I saw in myself, even when it came to the public speaking, that I wasn't so fearful of it anymore. I was able to go out there and just speak. So it's both.
I want to ask, But the question I'm going to ask, and I preface it with this first, is what were some of the changes you talk about, the self-confidence and the gait, the posture, and the like. What other changes you witnessed? But just go back to a second. You're an educator. You're in front of a class. You're engaging with your colleagues. So you're speaking, and people say, "But you're a teacher, fearful of public speaking. You do that constantly." Well, how do you respond to them when they would be surprised to hear that?
Well, to me, when I'm in front of my kids, I don't get nervous at all. To me, it's different. But then when you go out there in the public eye, especially during a competition, you feel like everything you're saying, they're going to be judging you off of.
Yeah.
So that's what.
What do you think about that? I mean, because I as an example, won't say the profession, but let's say it's a profession, not a politician, not a talk show host, okay? That the person is publicly engaged often. And we've interviewed them, and in the studio in front of the mic, they get a bit nervous. And you discover that, right? Even the people that are more...
Every time.
Right? And so...
Every time.
Yeah. And yet there was this little student in one of our, primary schools. She came into the studio, and probably on a booster seat, because she couldn't reach the table, and she owned the entire room. So that level of confidence can be developed, and that level of expectation, that person is a lawyer, a politician, or a doctor, or whomever, and yet they're nervous in front of a microphone. So with that sort of perception, maybe our parents can see the changes. To Alyssa, those changes, the confidence, the gait, the posture, that thing. What were some of the other changes that you guys witness in yourselves, or others say to you, "Oh, I noticed this in you," and that you think, "Hey, glad that I did it"?
Well, besides the public speaking, because I do agree with Krista, before this, just thinking about being in any kind of interview or being in front of people, I would be shaking in my heels, just so afraid to just get up and speak. But now, I just walk into a room and just start talking. Also, I feel like, for me, one of the biggest changes was just being true to myself, because you always get these outside comments, especially during pageantry, that nobody asks for, and you just have to stay true to yourself and just block that out, because you're doing it for you, not for anybody else.
I like how you said there's outside comments, Anita.
I know.
I like how you put that.
Yeah.
And I can imagine now you've gone from however public you are to even more so. Everybody knows you're everywhere for a very concerted period of time. It's almost like the politicians during election time. They're around all the time. But you guys are similar. So what does that do for your lives? Does it make it easier? Do you find that it's I can't go anywhere now. I'm not anonymous as much.
You have to wear makeup all the time.
No.
As you can tell, I don't have any on right now.
Me either.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm on the radio. But check me tonight. No. But that's part of it. And this is a small community. So those outside comments that we share sometimes can be, insensitive.
Yeah.
People don't appreciate.
I just want to ask, 2 weeks ago, I think 2 Saturdays ago, Alyssa, you became the first runner-up, and the second runner, because Krista originally from the pageant, Krista, you were the third runner-up. Is that second runner-up, correct? No, third runner-up. How did that go? Okay, so we had the Queen, and then you were.
I was second runner-up.
Second runner-up. Okay, so Krista, you weren't in the running.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago, Alyssa. Sidoni, she came out of the pageant, and Alyssa, you became the first runner-up.
Yes.
And of course, they brought Krista in, and now Krista, you're the second runner-up. How do you guys feel? How do you ladies feel after that came about? You went from second runner-up to first runner-up, and Krista, you went from not being in and now you're a second runner-up.
You were never nothing.
No, you were. Yeah,
never,
exactly. How does it feel? Let's start with Krista.
I was shocked at first. It's not something I expected at all. It's almost a year later.
Yeah.
It's almost a year later, but I am very grateful for it as well.
Were you shocked?
I was very shocked when Miss Pam called me. I was like, what? Wait, can you repeat that, please? Yeah. So I was very shocked, but I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I look forward to then mentoring these young ladies as well, because I knew what I went through, and I want to help them out as well. And then to see my little niece running up, my auntie's my second runner-up. I was like, oh, stop it.
And you, Alyssa, you're now first runner-up, so that moved you into a bigger position.
I was honestly nervous at first because I know I have big shoes to fill. As Sidonie, she left, and now I have to fill her space. And I love Sidonie, I respect her, and I just think, oh my gosh, we'll be able to live up to everything that she did. But I'm excited, and I'm just happy to, you know, be working with these amazing people again, especially working with Krista again. And, you know, like what she said, to mentor the new contestants.
I guess this only speaks to the whole notion of no matter what, you know, you always be prepared. You never know. It's so very much like the person in the workplace who isn't aware of a promotion coming available or a new position, but continually learning, preparing, and upskilling so that you're in that position. Coach would always say, you know, you don't just train when the competition, you know, in the finals. You train all the time so that you're there. It's a good example. A lifelong learner.
Meant to be will be, right?
Yeah. And if I might add, Sidonie relinquished her title as the first runner-up of Miss World Cayman Islands because she has some endeavors that she wishes to take on. And being the first runner-up, she was contracted by the Miss World Cayman Islands Committee and Girl Power Limited, which owns Miss World Cayman Islands, and that would have sort of restrain her from undertaking those ambitions that she wishes to do. So we support her fully, and we thought, you know, we do not want to hold anyone back from anything that they wish to accomplish in life. And so we wish her all the very best. We were happy to have her as our first runner-up, but we are equally happy to have our first runner-up, Alyssa West, and our second runner-up, Krista Evanks.
I think it's where that level of, you know, growth and opportunity and development, you know, speaks well. And maybe, you know, as we go into the break, when we come back, we can extend that invitation for others, and we can talk specifically about some of the training, some of those attributes that you can, you know, sort of develop as you consider, you know, this level of service and sacrifice. All right. All right. Let's pause and take that break. When we come back, more talk today.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
For information that matters to you, the people. Hear from the government, the opposition, independents, and other experts on issues and solutions that affect you. For the record. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, tune into 89.9 and 93.9 FM for Cayman's Straight Talk Morning Show. For the record.
I invite you to join me for the record. You are invited to be a part of this interesting and informative show. Embrace the opportunity to dialogue with your legislators, policymakers, and those charged with policy implementation.
For the record.
Brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors.
Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola.
Hello, Cayman. This is Governor Roper, here to remind you that there are only a few days left to enter the Cayman Platinum Cake Competition. Celebrate Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee and win the chance to have your winning recipe recreated and served at Government House this June at the Queen's birthday party. Submit your recipe today at gov.ky/Jubilee, where you can learn more about the competition and other exciting events. You have until Sunday, the 3rd of April. Good luck, Cayman, and happy baking!
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks again to Miss Anita for joining us. And Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings she hosts our Business Buzz program. So it's good to have you across the table for me.
It's good to be here, Sterling. Thank you so much for the invite. And I'm happy to be with Krista, Alyssa, and Nicosia.
Yeah.
You know, they're my girls.
Yeah. you ever wanted to be in a beauty pageant, if I can ask?
No, I was too. I've been ugly all my life.
Oh my goodness!
But
Never.
But I've watched pageants from the time I was a very young girl.
Yeah.
Back in Guyana. So I have a passion for as being as an audience, I guess. But I just love pageantry. I just love the way, it just helps young women to grow. And I've seen that here in the Cayman Islands. Because I remember the first time Krista came into the studio, and Alyssa, and the other girls, Rashawn as well. They were like, Miss Anita, I've never been on radio, and they had to they had to voice their commercial. And I've never done this. But they were great.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
And you can see, like, sometimes the first interview, and then a few short months later, a subsequent interview, and that incredible growth. Not just in poise and confidence, but presentation in a very, very short time. And I liken it to, those formal sort of public speaking courses that you take, all the other things that happen. But is it then that the confidence builds because others around you are nurturing and encouraging and you're experiencing together? Is it just exposure to the public speaking, to the opportunities? What do you think drives that level of positive growth that you get in a very, very short time?
I think it's about having good mentors around you, having a strong support system, having pageant sisters that don't want you to fail. I think it's a combination of all of those things that really helped all of us grow as people during the pageant.
And I think to our parents in particular, and the wide audience in general, that to you and career oriented, strong academic qualifications, and very ambitious in terms of your endeavors going forward, whether in education, whether in your career. So this isn't, as we were talking to earlier, isn't just, how do you put it, ladies walking around in high heels on stage. That's what, 1% you said of the thing?
If even that. Yeah, it's like 1%.
Yeah. And so that's important for us to know, dispel that perception that isn't what you see. A lot of the stuff that sort of goes on in it happens off stage. Wow. What was your favorite part of this whole thing, if there is such a thing? Mine was interviewing you guys without question.
Thank you. Mine, this is funny because this is the part that I was not looking forward to the most, and I had the most fun. It was sports day. I'm not a sports person. I'm a bodybuilder person. I'm not a physical sports person. I don't run. I don't do football. No swimming. Nothing. It was honestly so fun. Me and Krista were doing hula hoop for 12 minutes straight, just trying to beat each other. I mean, she won 12 minutes. Wow. I won the plank challenge though. Okay, 4 minutes holding that plank, and I'm coming back for my spot again as plank champion.
I hear a challenge. Yeah, I had the plank challenge too. It was a piece of wood. My brother gave me the hole. I still have that. In fact, you should come for it. Or you don't mean that? You mean the exercise plank?
Oh, exercise plank.
Because I had you beat. I got like 4 weeks now.
Oh.
No, but it's the exercise, mental and physically. What about you, Krista? What was your favorite part?
I think my favorite part was when we went to Cayman Brac.
Yes.
An overseas trip?
An overseas trip, right. We got to interact with the youth. We had a kickball tournament. We had a scavenger hunt. We would eat donuts.
Yes, that was great.
It was just such great memories together. We bonded so well. We'd be up all night playing Uno, Face Stand, you name it. So we had a great time.
Yeah, that was fun too.
See that? Now people listening, beauty contestants do eat. Do not subscribe. During the competition.
Note to committee, no donuts this year.
These are real people, guys.
Oh, yes, very.
Oh,
no restrictions here, guys.
And pizza. You forgot the pizza.
Oh, yes.
Pizza.
With extra cheese, probably.
Hawaiian girl. I'm a Hawaiian girl.
There you go, boy. And ham and pineapple. What do you say? Extra cheese. No, but this is where I think, for me, and I say this honestly, over the years, all of the different pageants, from the Miss Teens included, and the contestants, and to see sometimes the table just full, there's not enough chairs and mics. And the perception I come with is a strong bond and friendship, and there's so much growth and development within the person. They come to appreciate that it's not just them who experienced this thing, whatever that thing was. There's that bond, there's that love and connection, and I think it makes you appreciative that people need each other. And I guess in a sense that what's bugged me so much for the last 2 years that I've called centuries, because we're losing that physical interaction. We're running around with stuff over our faces. There was a time when you got arrested for that because you were committing a crime. And that was the expectation. How then do we, as you mentor the next cohort of contestants, how do you get them to appreciate that the true growth comes within as they support each other very, very, very directly and deliberately in their speaking? Because at some point you're competing in a sense. I mean, you're not just holding hands and eating marshmallows around a campfire. You're competing for valuable sort of prizes. Is there, Crystal?
Of course. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a competition, but you want to have that friendship. At least I know with us, it was more, we were friends before the competition. She would be like, yes, girl, go get your dress from here. They have good designs over here. Go get your accessories from here. It wasn't like, I'm not going to share this with her because I don't want her to look better than me or anything. We never had that malice. So I think just building that bond from the get-go makes it even, I guess you say, more enjoyable. And then that way, whoever wins, you're happy for them because you've built a genuine bond.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's just, even though you are there to better yourself and focus on yourself, that doesn't mean that you can't build these lifelong friendships. And I'm glad that I'm still friends with all the contestants. Listen, me and Jessica, we talk all the time. Me and Krista talk all the time. And it's just, I'm glad that I had this experience with them, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah. I'm not going to ask you to share, whatever, if there is something. But were there things that you guys discovered about each other that you had in common? It doesn't matter whether you love the same authors. You don't need to share what it is, but that surprised you that, wow, this person had that similar sort of, affinity for something, or had that similar sort of occurrence in their lives. You don't need to share what that thing is, if there was. But did that happen to you guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'd be looking at Krista like, oh, I didn't know. Some stuff like that, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And thanks for being so candid. And the reason why I asked that is that I think too many times we believe that it's only us that have had that, whether that's a good thing that we're happy about, or whether, sadly, it's not such a good thing. And knowing that someone else has that level of, went through that same thing, there's not empathy, but you don't feel so alone. And I think about some of the conversations that you in this cohort, the others as well, have shared, that I think allows us to show that growth and that strength, but that love that you said, it's not about competition and malice, it's about uplifting and encouraging. So on the 15th, there's the deadline, midday, I'm told, Miss Anita?
Oh, I don't know.
Just before the 16th. It could be 11:59 and 59 seconds on the 15th.
How do they, where's the, in a minute remain, Ms. Lawson, from your perspective, how do they either get information, and now I know there was a sort of a meet and greet back in, last month? No, early this month. No, last month.
Last month, yeah.
Last
it's now
month.
last month.
March. But if they want more information and if they want to apply, what's the best way?
So interested potential contestants could email us at missworldcayman@gmail.com, or they can follow us on all of our social media handles. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it's all Miss World Cayman, and just send us a direct message. we will send you the application form. We actually have the link to the application form on our social media platforms, where persons can just simply download the application form, provide any of the necessary documentation that needs to accompany the application form, of course complete and sign the application form, and return everything to us by email. All of the details are there. And if anyone has any questions, please do not feel afraid to reach out to any one of us. There are no stupid questions. We're happy to discuss the requirements and the commitments that it will take in terms of the training period, etc., while you're competing for the title. So just reach out to any one of us, any of the committee members, and we're more than happy to discuss it with you.
All right, thanks. Ladies, if you feel inclined to share more with us, any closing thoughts, Mr. Alyssa, Ms. Crystal?
Yeah, I just want to say to the future contestants, you have us here supporting you no matter what, and just if you're thinking about entering the pageant, just go for it. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. I mean, look at the friendships that we've made over the past 7 months we were competing, and it's just a life-changing experience. I would say just go for it.
I agree with Mr. Alyssa. Just go for it. Yeah. Do it. Just submit the application and don't turn back after that. You'll trust me, it'll be worth it in the end. Go for it. Just look at me. Look at from time I started until I finished, the growth that I got.
Well, I commend you both, man. And you know, as people in the neighborhood, as co-workers, as friends of family, as just citizens of our community, we can see the positive growth in all of you and the examples that you continue to be. So I wish you God's richest blessings and success. All right. Let's see, what do you think? We go for the news break?
Oh, no, I'll tell the girls who are listening, go for it. Because there's a scholarship involved too as well, right?
Yes, there is a $70,000 scholarship.
How can you forget? Most importantly, there's a scholarship. Okay, go for it. You might
maybe
as well.
a car. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we're working on things. More details to come.
See, Shirley?
Well, I have a little small car in a toy box.
I mean, that'll work too.
Nah, that's collector's item. You're not getting that.
So it's a $70,000 scholarship that the Cayman Islands government kindly offers to the title holder, whoever wins Miss World Cayman. There's also the opportunity to represent the Cayman Islands at the International Miss World pageant. Now, we don't know where the next pageant will be held, but we've had our young ladies competing as far as South Africa, Sanya, China. The last pageant was in Puerto Rico. We've had even as close as in Washington, D.C. So it's an opportunity to travel, make friends everywhere. I mean, my network has grown vastly during my time as Miss Cayman. I have contacts now in Namibia. I have a friend there who she was one of the competitors at Miss World, and she's a lawyer as well. And we were talking about, what she's facing in her country, different things about her career and stuff like that. And it's just so good to be able to share that with someone in Namibia, of all places. But then we realized that there's so many similarities in terms of our practice areas and so forth. So, I mean, I can literally travel anywhere in the world and pick up the phone and call someone and have a room to stay. And that's one of the things that pageantry brings. Even if you do not become the title holder, there's still many other opportunities for you. We're working to grow the pageant more and more to get our first and second runner-ups involved as well, and even others who may not hold a placement in the pageant, because we don't want it to just be that, it's only the title holder who benefits after the competition ends.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to speaking not only to you guys, but to the others as well, and all the future contestants. So good luck again, and hopefully see you soon.
Thank you.
All right, let's pause and take a break, and when we come back, I want to share with you another topic, so stay tuned.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. According to Public Health, another elderly patient has died, bringing the COVID-19 death toll to 26 in the Cayman Islands. This will be reflected in the next COVID-19 situational report for Epi Week 13. In international news, the government now says it will ban so-called conversion therapy for gay or bisexual people in England and Wales, but not for transgender people. It comes hours after it had said it would drop plans for the ban entirely. The announcement on Thursday evening that ministers would explore non-legislative routes to stop the practice was criticized by LGBT groups and MPs. Pope Francis has apologized to a Canadian Indigenous delegation for the Catholic Church's role in the country's residential school system. The schools, operated for more than a century, were run as part of government policy to assimilate Indigenous children and destroy their cultures. The Roman Catholic Church operated up to 70% of residential schools. Organizers of the Razzie Awards, which are given to the year's worst films, have cancelled the recent honor they gave to actor Bruce Willis after the announcement about his health issues. On Wednesday, his family revealed he has the brain disorder aphasia. Ceremony bosses said it was not appropriate to award prizes to those whose medical conditions may have affected their performances. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts, MBE, JP. In late 1945, Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts and his brothers formed Tibbett Brothers to build a cargo ship for trading in the Caribbean, which they named TB Radar, launched on August 20th, 1946. Keith supervised the construction, which was the first ship launched on Cayman Brac with the engine already installed. Keith also supervised the building of a second ship the following year, the MV Sonar, which launched on September 9th, 1947. After operating the ships for a few years, the brothers sold them both. Years later, he built and launched the MV Trial on 3rd January 1967. In 1951, he joined the Trinidad Shipping Company for a year and a half before coming back to Cayman Brac in 1952 to join the ranks of Caymanians who were shipping out to global ports with national bulk carriers, even though, unlike most of his fellow seamen, he spent merely a year on the ocean before turning his sights towards the promised land on shore. One of his personally created catboats was on display in the Kensington Museum in London for many years, a shining example of his pride of craftsmanship and excellence. This was part 4 of his special Sister Islands vignette series dedicated to Captain Keith Parker Tibbetts.
I'll be back. I've got 22 more days.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Busy, busy, busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
The #1 Sports Shop is your #1 best choice for all of your sports training needs. At the #1 Sports Shop, you'll find sporting goods from the world-famous Nike and Puma brands, training tops, compression tops and bottoms, shoes, and for after-the-game relaxation, slippers. And there's men and women's sportswear apparel. And while you're there, explore the #1 Shoe Shop and their wide variety of women and men's shoes and a grand selection of women's handbags. The #1 Sports Shop and the #1 Shoe Shop on Hospital Road in Georgetown, 949-5595.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. And very, very grateful that Miss Anita our wonderful host of our Morning Business Buzz program would sit with us for a bit.
Oh, you flatter me, Sterling.
No, man. I mean, our friendship goes back. Well, in my case, it feels like 1,000 years, but you probably just a few decades.
True.
We've been good friends for a long time. Right?
True.
And it's good to see that as colleagues as well, we can make a contribution.
I'm glad for it. And you've invited me. You kept inviting me, but I'm always putting you off, and I thought today would be the day. So here I am. Thanks.
See that way? Persistence pays off, and I think that
it does actually.
It's a good way to introduce, Miss Anna, or to remind our listeners. She was here before. We were talking about the launch of the Cayman Documentary, Festival, and that persistence, no matter what it is, you want to get somewhere. You got to have that dogged determination, Miss Anna.
Thank you for inviting me again. Yes, I think the initiative. Is going to be rewarded, and this is the experience that we had. We reached out to the community, and we got a lot of support. And that's what I have been telling people. If you have a good idea, try it. It's not gonna hurt.
What do you think it is, right? And maybe I'll allow people to appreciate that, as we said, initiative, determination, persistence and perseverance. It doesn't matter what that is. If we don't have some of those attributes, it may be a challenge to really get anywhere. What is it? The Chinese proverb, the longest journey begins with a single step, they say.
Yes, well, we started it, and then we contacted a lot of people when we announced the date, and then we couldn't pull back. It was already out there. And then it was a lot of work, I have to say that, for a lot of people. But once when you're in it, you have to manage so many things. And delegate and organize, with the production companies in London, and then organize the charities and the panelists. But everybody got on board. Everybody did their bit, and I think that's what I got from this. Anything is possible.
With that in mind, you've done it now. Would you do it again? Are you anxious then?
Absolutely. I would do it again. I would just start 6 months earlier.
So you're already planning for next year?
Yes. I mean, the buzz is there. We got, the community leaders on. We're going to meet up next week. We're going to see what other topics are there, what other charities are there, what are the subjects that we want to raise awareness about. Because there is so much to talk about. And then, choose the movies, choose the films for the next year, and perhaps bring somebody else as well. Maybe longer this time. There are good ideas. There are good ideas, and also we are talking with the documentary makers from Cayman, and they want to start making movies now for the next year too.
Are you thinking of keeping it in around the same time frame? If you were to do it next year, keep it as you did this year, or would you change the time?
We're going to see what is possible. We are still monitoring what's happening with Corona. And a lot of topics are possible. We're talking about the environmental festival, just the environmental films, because there is so many groups here that are very active in that field and sustainability, and we can bring a lot of people to talk about it. That's one of the options. But the good thing is that all the sponsors and collaborators and partners are very, very satisfied, and the charities are also got the platform to kind of talk about it, to really go into the issues, with these panelists, and we are really, really happy how it went.
Now, before I ask you sort of to recap, the different days and different panelists and the topics, respectfully, are there any? Everything has a sort of a teething, sort of. You go through a little phase and you learn from it. Are there any things that you learn from this that stands out? You say, "Yep, I want to repeat that. Nope, let's do that differently." What were some of the things that stood out, positive or otherwise?
I would say that I would make some decisions sooner than later, and it's good when you make a decision, then you kind of stick with it, and you cannot change it later. And that's what I would do, and I would definitely invite more people to join. More volunteers, whoever loves films or whoever loves cultural events or festivals to join and help us with the organization.
Okay, as well with the Cayman Documentary Festival, we have our colleague Sunny that joins us. Would it be okay, Ms. Anna, to maybe to recap? Each day this was the topic, this was the panelist. Just quickly for those who missed it. Maybe
I missed it.
Yes, I mean, a lot of people heard about it because What's On app, advertising Explore Cayman, Acorn Media was behind us, and Dart as well, publicized it in the cinema, and Cayman Compass. So it was out there. Of course, some of the dates, people were kind of busy, but we had a phenomenal support. A lot of we sold out 3 films, and we're pretty happy with the outcome. So the first date was 16th of March, and the documentary was about Tina Turner and her story, how she was a great, phenomenal singer, and about her abusive marriage and how she kind of raised from abuse after that, and what a great personality. And she's such an inspirational singer and also woman. So the Crisis Center talked a lot about their work, and they kind of offer support to people, and they announced that they are having another telephone line. So it was great to hear about the data and the statistics of the abuse here in Cayman, and that's what we try to do with each day. We try to connect the film with the local issue.
So after each film, there was a panel.
Yes.
Panel discussion. Okay.
Yeah. And then the second day was a documentary about Greta, the teenage activist from Sweden. And then we kind of gathered all the teenage and a little bit older environmental activists.
You should get her here next year.
I mean, that would be great.
But you should have to come by boat.
Yes, that was the film was about that.
It would be the first time we went that far. It's strange that we have a documentary as a catboat sail from here to there.
Well, there were a lot of local Gretas there. I mean, from different schools, and it's amazing what they're doing with Protect Our Future and Plastic Free Cayman. And there were a lot of kids on that screening, and they're asking questions. And it was really, I was very excited to hear their opinions, and they want to get involved, and it was beautiful. And then on Friday we had the Great Disconnect, and Kayla Young was there, the local journalist. She made a film about jobs in Cayman, how to go from classroom to the career. And after that, we had a panel about mental health. And that was very educational for me, too, because they talked about social media, the dangers of social media, and how much the education in primary school is important for kids. I learned so much myself. And then the biggest event was Cryptopia, the one that was dedicated to the financial community and digital assets. And we gathered a lot of people on Saturday, and Thorsten Hoffman came from London to talk to them on the panel, and he said that he never had such a serious and nerdy questions ever from the audience. So it was kind of very exciting also to meet him and to talk about it and to learn about it a lot, because that film should be in classrooms as well, because it starts from zero. It explains everything to people who don't know much about it, like me, for example. And then Sunday was dedicated to creative industries, and we had a film that actually just won an Oscar, Summer of Soul. And if you didn't see it, I absolutely recommend it. It's a beautiful, beautiful film about music in America. And we had a panel that was moderated by Vicky Beaton, and Natalie from National Gallery was there, and Badir Awe and Stuart Wilson, and they were talking about why festivals actually start here, and then they have some problems to continue. We were trying to understand why we don't make this happen in continuation every year. And then the last one, the Roadrunner, about Anthony Bourdain, and the local filmmakers were there as well to talk about their short documentaries. So it was a lot of laughter in that cinema room, and a lot of joy, and we're very happy with the amount of people who came to support us.
It's interesting. I mean, and we see. Say university settings, something not unlike this, where they may have a speakers bureau, a series of events within the universities, even here locally, a distinguished lecture series, programming, whatever they term it. and it's in an academic setting, supposedly where everybody appreciates what is shared there is shared with a sense of objectivity and impartialness and without judgment, as opposed to something else elsewhere. I gathered from the limited feedback I received from some who attended, this was very much like that. Even though the setting wasn't academic, the participation and the discussion, conversation was in that same vein. What do you think in terms of how that informs?
Yeah, that's my background. I have a background in academia, so I always love these discussions. But we wanted to make it light, entertaining. We wanted to involve the audience. We wanted to make this like flow. And we were really surprised with how much people wanted to say, how much people wanted to express. And everybody had an opinion. Everybody got really prepared for it. And we should definitely continue. I mean, it was inspired by this festival in London called the Festival of Ideas. That's why each day had a different idea, different topic, different community.
Which ones were sold out?
The Roadrunner. That sold out immediately. Anthony Bourdain used to come here. Some people even met him. And Cryptopia as well. Yeah.
Figure that.
Yeah.
And as we speak to this, I mean, like you were sharing that idea that here is a setting, a deliberate, conscious setting of people speaking to a specific topic that interests them. I know a few people who went to some of the different ones because it was outside of their normal remit, as it were. And as one educator shared, she said just within their own group, it just happened that the Tina Turner film, as I call it, was playing on one of the local television channels, and then there was a music production thing that had a feature concert with her. I don't know, was that in Germany, somewhere, Barcelona, somewhere in Spain, 20 or 30 years ago, and so she used that as a teaching tool, and I think it was inspired by what you had done. So
that's amazing to hear.
Yeah, this is another way to engage an audience that it goes beyond the classroom, but it goes beyond the community setting. What were the charities and their, not just the money raised for them, but the exposure they got? What sort of feedback have you received from that involvement as they were featured on each night? You had a different charity sort of highlighted.
Everybody said they would do it again. Absolutely. And they had a platform to talk, and I think that's important for them. Alex Panton, of course, they're very, very active with everything. But it's just nice to sit down and to be given time, to express the opinions. And I think that we plan to do this again. And there's so many charities here. I mean, the philanthropic landscape of Cayman is really active. So we will see next time if we're going to maybe raise other questions as well.
Yeah. We had a question, and I didn't reach out to you directly after our first discussion. And the person was listening and said, well, there have been jazz festivals here and other places, and different types of festivals, and even like food festivals. Then there are film festivals. But a documentary festival, how is that like or different from a traditional film festival?
Well, documentaries are getting bigger and bigger now, and better. And they're now they can be used in educational services, but they can just be entertaining, like films. And people actually go and buy tickets, and they go to the cinema to see them. So it's a new genre that deserves our attention. And I have chosen these ones because they are kind of connected to Cayman in a way, but they're very good ones as well that deal with other topics that we can also screen here. And we actually have 2 now that are waiting. Maybe we're going to do some like little events here and there, just to keep people, to keep the festival in the kind of buzz that people talk about it. But also I wanted to invite people on the 10th of April. We're going to have like a big social for all people that are involved in the festival are going to be invited. It's also a closing of our documentary exhibition. We have a photography exhibition at Parcel 110 called Perspectives, Photography Storytelling. And that exhibition was part of the festival as well. And young Leo Schilling made a short film about the festival because he was there every day. He was interviewing people. He was taking shots. So it's just a short documentary, 4 minutes. But we're going to put it on for people to see it and everybody who was involved. And, of course, you two are invited to see the exhibition and maybe meet people and, see what we can do together next year.
I mean, Anita, we see the great resource here. We talked about it earlier with the pageant contestants, as it were. And perhaps as we sort of wrap up our discussion, Ms. Anna, many times those who are looking can see what is before them. Many times we don't see because we're so close to it. What is your perspective on how we get more of us to recognize, appreciate, engage, and involve ourselves in the Cayman landscape that brings more positivity and sort of unity? Because there's a lot available here, right?
Yeah, I think they're wonderful resources in terms of infrastructure and also in terms of resources that people want actually to make this place better. Everybody's committed, right? And I think it's important people to talk and to connect. I mean, this documentary festival is also a way of people to meet. And I know that a lot of people met through some of the movies, and maybe they're going to do something that they're interested in. It's important to have an initiative, to sit down, to make a plan, and to see what is possible. And then go small first. Because if you go too big first, it might be too overwhelming.
Was this your brainchild?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And you shared with us, but you remind us initially, the impetus for this. You hear, why do this now and why do this in Cayman? As your brainchild, what was the reason for doing it?
Well, I love good films. And I organized a festival in London when I used to live there, and kind of traveling now with Corona kind of all stopped, and I just cannot stop myself. I mean, if that's your passion and your job at the same time, then you just have to do it.
Are you like me, just wait for the Oscars every year?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you can watch it here, you can watch it during the day. Yeah.
Right. What do you think about the past Oscar?
Well, I have to say it has been a little bit too controversial for me, but I'm really happy that the film that we got, here, that it got an Oscar, and that was pretty
Which
clear.
one was that?
Summer of Soul.
Oh, right.
Music.
Right. That's right.
And I cannot wait to see the films, because I didn't have any chance to see any of the movies yet.
You haven't even watched Belfast?
No, not yet.
Good movie. Yep.
I cannot wait. I was very busy.
Yeah, I wait for the Oscars so I can see my my favorite movies if they're gonna win.
Really?
Yeah. The Power of the Dog. That's another one that was on Netflix,
yes.
and I had no idea that this was gonna be nominated, so I had to watch it again. What's a great movie?
It's a brilliant movie. I'm so proud that she got an Oscar because she really deserved it. Jane Campion. Yeah, I'm following her work for years now.
So you have to get special permission from someone to have those films shown here. Yes.
You have to contact international production houses. We were in contact with Disney, with Dog Wolf, the ones that are dealing mostly with documentaries. And it was a little bit weird because they were like, "Where are you, Grand Cayman? So you're not in America, you're not in Britain." So we were kind of in Latin America. And they were really surprised that we want to have a documentary festival, but they were really into it, so they didn't make any problems. They would just say, go for it. And they were very supportive. And now we have all these contacts, so it's easier for the next time.
So I'm pretty sure you have your eyes on one right now, at least one that you want to showcase next year.
Yes. Well, I'm waiting to see what's going to...
give us a sneak preview?
Yeah. I have now... this documentary is called 2040, which is about what we can do in 20 years to, in terms of environment, in practical terms, what we can just do to help. And there is one about social media and teenagers, which I think it's a very, very topical issue. But it's great. It's art, it's entertainment, it's visual language. I mean,
you have all these short form films that we don't get to see, most of the times. but would you be able to have access to those just in case you want to add them to your documentary festival?
Which one, sorry?
They're like short films, like different, they show you have a brief look at them when they have the Oscar, but they're not films that
not feature-length films.
Right, so I can have access to.
We can reach out. I mean, that's usually easier because you're dealing with the filmmakers.
Paul is suggesting indie films. Not really, Paul.
Absolutely.
but yeah.
That's how we started. We started as a Cayman Film Society because we wanted to meet up and talk about, good independent movies. I think it's easier, if you're dealing with the filmmakers immediately, if they have the rights to their movies, because lots of them want to come here. They want to come with a film. They want to show up, they want to talk to the audience, they want to have a panel. And that's also nice for here, people to meet and just to ask questions.
So for each film, sorry, Strong,
no, you're not taking over. You're
sorry,
today.
I've got questions.
You go right ahead. This is where I learn.
I've got questions.
Go right ahead. You're burning questions.
So for each documentary, you have your panel, of course. Who selected those panelists? You did, or?
Well, I had help.
Okay.
I knew that Tina is, that's the issue, so I reached out to the charity, and Marisha, who is the one of the organizers there, she suggested that people from her own charity and also people who are involved with the Family Resource Center. And then Greta, I had a lot of help from Brigitte Nemeth, who is the owner of the Lucky Slice, because she's our local community hero, and without her, this festival would not exist, because she is very active in these environmental circles. So we were trying to get each activist from each group to talk about their work. And then the blockchain and Cryptopia movie, we had help from the Blockchain Association of Cayman Islands, because they are a tight group.
How about Summer of South?
Summer of Soul, I wanted to have the leaders in every field. So I invited Natalie, like visual arts, and Badir from the film industry, and then Stuart from music industry. And I knew that Vicky Wheaton is very active in like a singer and somebody who used to organize.
Soul. I said South. You realize that, right?
Yeah, but we heard it differently.
Summer of Soul. I'm sorry.
No, I recommend you have to see it.
I've not seen that.
What I mean, we recognize the timing, but some of the documentaries are presented either for different reasons. Some want to be an accurate portrayal of what transpired. Sometimes I question, if the lens wants to reinterpret or reimagine. Your perspective on the documentaries that you witnessed. Accurate portrayal, even the Summer of Soul and how it showed that particular industry and the challenges of those musicians in that era. How do you think it's presented to the audience now? Accurate or sanitized or even partially skewed?
Well, Summer of Soul was mostly like the original material from the end of 60s, yeah. And they wanted to show how this music festival happened, and then it was completely forgotten.
Just gone, yeah.
Nobody knew about it. I mean, everybody talked about Woodstock for 60, 70 years, but what about, Harlem Music Festival? So I enjoyed it. I love that music. I love retro, visuals. But also there was a lot of interviews from people who were there, and it's just inspirational. For me, we wanted to deal deep in issues, but we wanted to give inspiration as well. We wanted to have good vibes.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to having perhaps next year's festival even be a greater success, and certainly on the 10th of April, sort of the closing for your festival. So if you can continue to partner, let us know. But thanks very much for joining us, all right?
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. Well, Miss Anita.
Nice meeting you, Anna. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
What's your favorite film before you go?
I don't have a favorite film at all.
We have one out there.
What's your favorite?
Leap Year.
Wow, without question, she says that.
Yeah. And The Holiday. They're my chick flicks.
Not the Penguins of Madagascar. I mean, that's what I like.
Yeah. I just like just
all right.
Just chick flicks.
I'm gonna get more information from Anita when I come back, so just give her a chance to prepare. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Subway makes it easy for you to stay on top of your health and wellness goals with our Fresh Fit menu options. Choose from 5 Fresh Fit Subway sandwiches with only 450 calories or less per 6-inch sub. Turkey breast, veggie, oven roasted chicken, black forest ham, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, or make your 6-inch Fresh Fit sub into a salad or wrap prepared with fresh vegetables. For a full menu and nutritional information, visit subway.ky. Subway, eat fresh.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I
Hey.
have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Town. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments until April 9th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointments slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, Botox filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email dr.porterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020.
Something big is coming to Radio Cayman.
How you heard? Well, what is it?
For 3 days only, April 5th to 7th.
I know what it is, but I can't tell you. Ma, you don't know? How you know?
You don't want to miss this.
Well, hurry up and tell us now.
Radio Cayman is offering something big for all our advertisers. Contact RC Sales at gov.ky or get in touch with your account executive to learn more.
So you really not gonna tell us?
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. And thanks very much for joining us as we invite you. Yes, I say us. It is not only the royal we, but today literally we have Miss Anita. And thanks again for coming on board with us. It's not in jest. It's not, what we call it, some tomfoolery. It's just wonderful company. So thank you so much.
Not sure about that, Sterling.
Well, for me it is. I mean, I'll try better to be better
You
company.
surprised me because I thought I was just going to sit in a corner and don't say anything. That was my plan.
That was your plan?
Just to sit in the corner.
So a lot like school. Just be in the corner. Don't call on me. No, I must share that there are times that like the jester, and the Shakespearean plays sometimes, it'd be good to have a little fun. But there may be times when people may not necessarily appreciate the little practical jokes and the pranks that we may try to pull. And as much as I would honestly say that laughter is the best medicine, that level of camaraderie, literally the breaking of bread, the fellowship that we get by sitting, and as Coach Huda would talk about, come let us reason. It's an opportune time for people to reflect. It's the first of the month. It's the Friday. For some, it's the beginning of the week. For some, it's the end of the week. Depends on how their shift starts, to what their particular job is. How do you find it so far? I mean, we're 3 months into this year, as it were.
It's good. I mean, my birthday was on the 17th of March, so it's a brand, as Mr. Jimmy in Northside would say, this is a brand new year for me.
There you go.
It's our brand new year, so it's good.
Yeah,
as you get older, you get wiser.
I hope
you
so.
have less money, but you keep plugging along and just giving God thanks for every day that you're 6 feet above ground.
That is
How about you?
Me?
Mm-hmm. How is it going for you?
How's it going for me?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it wasn't going good, I would say that it will, because I call those things aren't as if they were. But it is going good, and it's going good from the perspective of being grateful and hopefully gracious. It's going good because, as you shared, there's life. Where there's life, there's opportunity, and where there's hope, it's also a bit, concerning. Some would say disconcerting when you see what's transpiring globally, and not even just the threat of war and the rumors of wars and the actual wars. It's the arrogance of so many. I mean collectively on the global scale, no matter whether they're arm's length away, because either they're right there in your person or they're on some one-eyed monster that's talking from the screen, hang on a wall somewhere. But it's the lack of consideration and respect and humility, and the conscious awareness that we are where we are because of the service and sacrifice of many, and we just want to throw it all away. So those are the pensive thoughts that one would ponder as the sleepless nights prevail. But hey,
we can sit here all day and talk about war and rumors of war and what's going on, Sterling, but it's always the part that gets to me is the humanitarian side of things, and collateral damage, stuff like that.
I think that's why, and again, anybody listening that wishes to say, man, you're off base, that's fine. But when I look at what we as a world were forced to endure, everybody wearing masks, according to some would-be despots, stay inside, inside your little quarter. You don't even people here can't get no fresh air. Here, there, and everywhere. And yet, homelessness, hunger, right? We've used a nice euphemism, human trafficking. This is human slavery. Women and children being sold as sexual slaves to be kept in dungeons, and to be in the courts of the supposed.
It's happening right in Poland right now.
Right.
Some of the women and children moving across to Poland,
And probably the people that are organizing it and benefiting from it have untold wealth, titles and all sorts of other things. Why don't we turn that resource that we could do to imprison the world and bring justice for those miscreants? That would be a good thing.
Sterling, there's so many things happening in the world today. You just have to just I don't know, stay in your space and just contribute as much as you can.
Is that it then? Is that it?
I mean, would that be most effective, you think?
I don't know. We don't stay in our lane when we're driving, right? We create hazards for others, and yet the person that sticks the hand up to say, well, here I am. Let me help. Let me call onto this. Whether it's the bona fide journalist who does an expose on something, an investigative piece to highlight something, whatever that thing is that needs to be addressed. Don't always get the level of support, and probably sometimes maybe openly, publicly castigated, right? So that probably causes people to stay in their lane. What do you think?
You bet. You bet. You bet.
Maybe come Monday I'll have to find a new lane.
You bet.
but with that in mind, though, it's powerful how people, once they find their voice, you think of not to sort of speak to it too later, but think of the map of the world, the map of 1950 versus the map, of today. There's still new countries. And
you want to go back to 1942, maybe?
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Even if we would even go back then, right? But even if we not even go back, just look at some of the shifts in Europe, as it were, and how other nations are trying to maybe establish that they too want a semblance of not even independence, but autonomy, somewhat. You look at some countries that you think, well, yeah, they're together. The UK, Scotland is probably saying, hey, we wouldn't mind, being on our own. We don't like the fact that we're not part of the EU. Now, when these things transpire, are there significant numbers that make up the majority, or is it significant numbers of people with sufficient clout that even though they may not be the majority, their outcome is the outcome as dictated and defined by them?
Yeah, but you know what, Sterling? I don't know. We can talk about this all the time, but you have those that want to just take for instance, was it Taiwan?
Taiwan?
Who want to be by themselves there? Is that Taiwan?
Oh, you mean with the China and the
I'm trying to think. Yeah. Anyway, we'll go back to
that. Well, we know that China says, this is part of us, and they're saying, well,
but there's all Guyana. Take again Guyana, for instance, Guyana and Venezuela. Venezuela, sorry, I beg your pardon. Venezuela is always saying, look, a part of Guyana is ours. So, I mean, the people in Guyana, they always have to be in the alert that, at some point in time, there's always friction.
Yeah. I mean, Hong Kong, for instance.
Hong Kong, it was Hong Kong. Right. That's Hong Kong I'm thinking about. Okay. Yeah.
But there's an issue with Taiwan as well, right? But not even in that situation. What about, within the country itself? Well, it may not be as much in the news now but there was a time when, in Canada, Quebec was saying, well, we kind of wanted to be a part of it. In Spain, right? You see, not long ago in California, is it North California, Southern California?
Listen, I live in Newlands.
Yeah. So
and
you guys in
Newlands is Newlands. There's Buddentongue, Savannah, and there's Newlands.
Yeah.
Kidding. I'm just kidding.
So we'll have a premiere for Newlands then. All right.
Well, our premier lives in Newlands.
So I'm hearing is that you guys are declaring independence.
That's right.
That's right. Hey, you heard it here. Breaking news. Cameron Brack becomes his own independent nation.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, best way is already so.
That's right.
But this is where I think this week and in particular last evening to sit in the company of a good friend and new acquaintance and to be so engaged in the discussion, to see, as Ms. Anna was sharing, the resource and the resources that are here, the people, their experience and their expertise, their intellect, their ambition. And for some reason, either A, is taken for granted, or B, those who know don't necessarily show. They don't promote. They don't embrace. They don't ensure that we all come to the table to feast.
Maybe you just need someone to give them a little push.
Perhaps.
A bit of encouragement.
Perhaps.
Show them, because a lot of us have potential, but we just never want to be out there, want to be the driving force. We always leave it to somebody else to be in the forefront. Yeah. And then sometimes when that person gets in the forefront, they're like, they have a lot to say about it, but then they don't have anything to contribute. So if you have something to contribute, just come out and do it.
All right. Well, we're going to break. And
a break?
Yeah.
Are we going to talk today? How come we don't have any callers, Sterling?
I don't know.
Do we have to invite them to call in, or?
Well, we can do what we know. We just pay them. You just not what it's like an election year. You get paid to play. 949-837, 1-800-534-8255, and give us a shout. Share your thoughts with us. Anita can't sit with us. We're going to pause and take a break, and when we come back, more Talk Today.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Subway is serving up a special new sauce, bursting with flavor in every bite. The new Savory Collection is a tropical sweet and spicy sauce made with a combination of spices, habanero peppers, thyme, onion, black pepper, ginger, citrus juices, and molasses.
So good. Wow. Sensational. Delicious.
Subway's Savory Collection pairs perfectly with our oven roasted chicken or steak sub. Savor the flavor. For a limited time, only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
Thinking of getting a hybrid but don't know much about them? Vamp Motors has 3 great reasons why you should own the Toyota CHR. Hybrids save fuel, run cleaner, reduce CO2 emissions, and even recharge their batteries while being driven. So there's no need to plug in your hybrid, making it both economical and fun to drive. And you don't have to replace your battery every 2 years. The CHR Hybrid is reliable, providing up to 1 million kilometers on the same battery and engine. Oh, and now you can save $2,000 off the Toyota CHR, starting at only $33,500.
That's way more than 3 reasons.
True, but the best one is that it's on sale now. Test drive the Toyota CHR today at Vamp Motors, Walkers Road, while stocks last. Cayman Turtle Conservation and Education Center invites you to join them on Sunday, April 3rd for their 2nd annual Turtle Crawl 5K Walk and Run. All funds raised from the event will support the conservation of green sea turtles in the Cayman Islands. So come on out and show your support. The 2nd annual Turtle Crawl 5K Walk and Run. Learn more and register now at www.turtlecrawl.ky. Proudly sponsored by HSM, Rotary Central, Advanced Fire Services, Gatorade, and Radio Cayman. The 8:12 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britke. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first. Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
Research tells us that the best age for parents to start having conversations with their children about the dangers of underage drinking is when their kids are 9 years old. Studies show that parents have a significant influence on young people's decision to drink. So talk, they are listening. The NDC offers parents advice on how to talk to their children about underage drinking and prepares you for the tough questions like, did you drink as a child? For tips, log on to www.ndc.ky. This message was brought to you by the National Drug Council and Radio Cayman.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. And thanks for joining us, and thanks too to our colleague Anita for sitting with us.
Good afternoon to all our listeners.
And she's that voice you hear on Tuesdays and Thursdays more. Right?
The voice.
The voice? The voice. See the voice.
Yeah, the voice.
I was trying to be, All right, but we do have a caller.
Okay.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for calling.
Hey, Edwin. Good afternoon.
And to you, a blessed good afternoon.
Yeah. Good afternoon to your guest over there today. I didn't get the name, but I know somebody's over there with you.
It's Anita. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm just going to throw a topic out there and see if anybody has an opinion on that. It's companies come into Cayman and make people work on Cayman holidays. What do you guys think about that?
Okay, now I got to repeat it back to you, right? But in my language. So if they come to Cayman and make people work on Cayman holidays, right? Presumably, that's I had in the financial services sector to be a practice. What's your view on it?
I think it's totally wrong. Totally wrong. I mean, your holidays be to spend with your family, do something, and sometimes your husband, your children have to work on that day. You have a family gathering, and you can't attend because you're not off, and then you have to work on those days. So just to see if anybody else have the same,
Can I ask you? Can I ask you, sir? I guess is it a business where the employee has to work on that specific day?
Yeah, that's so common. It's been, here, yes, banking and anywhere.
Right.
You work on Cayman holidays and you off in U.S. holidays, or you on U.S. on whatever country holiday.
I look at it this way: if you work on that day, it's double pay.
But I was going to ask a question.
That's not no. If you have in a contract over there, that you're gonna be, you don't get no double pay.
So let me give.
You get the other day. You get another day off.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say the U.S. I mean,
yeah.
If you work on the Cayman holidays and you off in the U.S. holidays.
Right. So yeah. So as an example, and if I could make sure we understand, let's say, let's use the U.S. as an example. So in Cayman, we have a holiday in May, for argument's sake. And on that day, that Monday, everybody is enjoying themselves. We're not talking people in the medical profession or the people in hospitality who may be scheduled. Just say the financial sector.
About that. You know what I'm talking about.
Right. So let's say the financial
banking,
right.
offshore bankings, and
right.
what do you think of? What I'm
right.
saying is that,
yeah.
For example, coming up now, Easter, all right? United States don't celebrate that.
Yeah.
So you are with your family camping, but two of your household people can't be there because they are working, and then they will get a U.S. holiday when you are working. They just doing nothing at home. I was just wondering, if you guys agree with that, or if any others.
Agree or not agree? It seems to be a growing practice, though. But how can that be addressed? Because from what you shared, I understand that it's a frequent occurrence where individuals who are employed in Cayman by an entity that, let's say in the financial services sector, who say, well, our market is in this place and that's not a holiday to our clients, but you have to come in on that day to work.
So is it a law? I mean, I know that it's a couple of days out of the year that you by law not supposed to work. I don't know if it's Easter or it's good.
Yeah.
I don't know which one is right, but I know. But people still going to work.
Yeah, I will. I instead of giving an answer that may not be as exclusive or exhaustive as possible and accurate, I just send a message to ask, and some people will inquire. I mean, probably not, but I can say informally I've asked that of people who I thought would know, and it came back to a case of the employment contract that you as the employee agreed to, and even if you didn't.
But don't you think that it's supposed to be in the law,
mm-hmm.
that your holidays in Cayman, you coming over here, you have to have the Cayman holidays.
Right. Well, I just give, and I don't think this discloses anything. It just highlights sometimes that the assumptions and expectations. A scenario that was shared with me some time ago, an individual, again in the financial services sector, not the retail banking where those banks close on the holidays, and went to work and to discover that it was a Monday holiday. Family was making plans. Oh, sorry, you come into work on Monday. But what do you mean it's a holiday? Oh, it's not here. this occurrence a number of years ago, and it was an outfit that dealt in a different market. As I understand it, an inquiry was made with the requisite government entity, and seemingly nothing could transpire because that was what was agreed. And now it's a growing practice amongst some employers and their Caymanian employees, or the employees in Cayman, perhaps I should put it that way, are just like it or lump it.
Yeah, who could change that? Make it into law, to listen. You come over here, you have to work with the Cayman laws.
Yeah, well, we're going to ask about that.
Okay.
I'll make a note because I appreciate you raising that publicly, and maybe it's one of those things that people assume until it confronts them directly, and maybe it's one.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to hang up.
You go ahead, man.
Radio.
You go ahead, bro.
Right.
Talk to you soon.
Okay.
And appreciate that. And with that whole, maybe it's because it's only 5 people or only 500 people that is affected by it, so it really doesn't matter. But maybe it does.
All I know, Sterling, is if it's a public holiday here and we have to come into work, the radio came out, we have to work, right?
Right. But I think that the caller highlights that, we're not talking about, say, uniform services or medical
Right.
or
We're
hospitality
talking,
or even here, true essential services like you guys here already came on, right?
I like how you say you guys.
I say essential, right?
Yeah.
And but very much, a person that's working in the financial sector that isn't a retail bank, with customers coming in and transacting like that, to discover that whether it's trading in the markets or whether it's something else similar, they're at work. No, not all of the entities in the private sector, in the financial services that do that, but seemingly it's a growing practice.
Yeah, but there's no law that says, as far as I know, and especially labor law, that says
you close and come on.
Yeah, you can't. It's a public holiday. You're not supposed to work. It depends. It's between you and your employer.
Yeah, I gathered that was the conclusion, but maybe something that, as the caller highlights. Now, as we go to our news break, a wonderful lady that we used to call, or still call, our Mary. So Miss Mary celebrates, her 86th, birthday today.
Oh.
And
Miss Mary, you said?
Miss Mary.
Happy birthday, Miss Mary.
Can you sing it?
No.
In Guyanese?
No, I could probably do.
We had a song to Susan in Trinity. So I mean,
maybe Paul can do that.
Paul?
Yes, for Fox. Happy birthday to Miss Mary. Can you sing it?
Yeah. All right. So Mary, from Waffy and Mando and Carlin and Glenston, all the neighborhood, a special happy birthday to you. And when we come back, we're not going to embarrass her and sing happy birthday, but we're going to give her a shout out again. All right. Let's pause and take that break, and maybe Anita will host for that at the half hour, and I'll be the guest. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Not by any chance.
The Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Spread the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. According to Public Health, another elderly patient has died, bringing the COVID-19 death toll to 26 in the Cayman Islands. This will be reflected in the next COVID-19 situational report for Epi Week 13. In international news, the government now says it will ban so-called conversion therapy for gay or bisexual people in England and Wales, but not for transgender people. It comes hours after it had said it would drop plans for the ban entirely. The announcement on Thursday evening that ministers would explore non-legislative routes to stop the practice was criticized by LGBT groups and MPs. Pope Francis has apologized to a Canadian Indigenous delegation for the Catholic Church's role in the country's residential school system. The schools, operated for more than a century, were run as part of government policy to assimilate Indigenous children and destroy their cultures. The Roman Catholic Church operated up to 70% of residential schools. Organizers of the Razzie Awards, which are given to the year's worst films, have cancelled the recent honor they gave to actor Bruce Willis after the announcement about his health issues. On Wednesday, his family revealed he has the brain disorder aphasia. Ceremony bosses said it was not appropriate to award prizes to those whose medical conditions may have affected their performances. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And if you have a call, a comment, a query, or a question, or you just want to be a part of a discussion, well, Anita.
Part of All Fools Day.
Yeah. Did you?
I heard you saying, are you calling it Tomfool?
Yeah.
Is that a Caymanian thing that I missed?
I didn't.
Or a West Bay thing that I missed?
No, I didn't know it must be well, it must be a Cayman thing. I mean, I didn't know till later on in life that, All Fools Day, the term was, the tomfoolery, tomfool, right? And there were some wonderful stories that were shared in the community about things. And as you grow older, you begin to wonder whether it's just people are making fun of others and having a good laugh, only to perhaps discover sometimes that these things actually happen. Maybe now some would be offended by it, but it's all part of a wonderful fabric that has.
Has anybody fooled you today yet?
I'm still waiting.
Well, you have until midnight tonight. So people, you have until midnight tonight to throw one in Sterling.
There you go. Maybe this caller might do that. Let's go to the phones, huh? Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sterling Dwayne. Good afternoon, Anita.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you?
Good. What do you say, you're trying to fool Dwayne? That's going to be hard.
That'll be hard, eh?
That's going to be hard.
I appreciate your confidence, man.
Boy,
thank you.
You never know.
I tried to fool him for years.
Never underestimate the power of a woman.
It's true.
Hey. What you up to, man?
Another thing, just relaxing, chilling out and working hard and staying out of trouble.
I'll say publicly, just as part of, I enjoy great company. And Great. I've always believed that if you have even just a little bit to eat, and it's not even that great, but you have exceptional, company, then that whole experience is just incredible, right?
You better believe it.
The company is important.
Are you talking about my company?
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't see any food.
No.
So
not yet. Just hold on. We're not finished yet.
He can bring you some chocolate.
I mean, geez, some people, boy. You see, women impatient, especially when they're older than you.
I was just checking, just checking.
Keeping him on his toes, right?
But that's the thing, man. And when you look at what is Cayman, and you see. And I say this again because I think too many times we don't appreciate what is Cayman, the rich fabric, and we're so quick to join in when there's a chorus of discontent. We're seeing that discord that divides and causes the society to be, less than celebrated in a positive way. Now, mind you, we should make sure that we don't accept and ignore the little things or the big things that aren't a positive reflection, right?
Correct.
But with that in mind, the notion, big fish in a small pond. Many of us, we don't see how that is so evident.
Small pond, big fish.
And then there's this small, yeah. Many of us are very small fish in a big pond. Take of the student who leaves here and goes to university. Take the individual athlete who's competing, even the football player or otherwise, and you then go internationally. And thankfully, like the student, like the athlete, like the artist, they do well, they hold their own.
Right.
But for some reason, when they're here, we don't see our own. We see what was a very small fish in a very large pond in North America or Europe, and all of a sudden now it's a big fish because, well, it's not even a pond here, it's just a puddle. We don't see what that is on the Cayman landscape. But then more importantly, I was going to share with you as part of today's discussion, as part of me to consider what would be some of the things that would maybe encourage, let's put it that way, some lively discussion. So for instance, right, we know the little buttons that get pushed sometimes that inflame people and cause them to take sides. So a lady reached out to me earlier and she says, you hear all sorts of proposed legislation and protests and marches and comments. But has anybody ever talked about, the idea of rescinding the law against bigamy, right? And maybe start to embrace polygamy, not just for those who are from those religious preferences, but she says as a woman, she says she would like to have 7 men, right? One for each day. One to cook, one to clean, one to take care of the yard, one to go, 2 to go to work to do the bills. And she went through a list of things, and I said, well, what about companionship? Nice euphemism. She says she has a girlfriend, so that they can talk. She don't need a man for anything else other than, all these other things. And she was being jovial, but then she said, seriously, we talk about so much, but in the Cayman context, why is it that we shy away from, other things that other nations have looked at, even, the notion of homelessness and unemployment. So I was thinking today, I would, have a discussion like that, but that would not go over well, not even April Fool's Day.
I'm not in the room. You could just exited stage left.
Anita has left the room. But what do you think of today in particular? Does it resonate with you? Does it lead to good jovial pursuits and some shenanigans? Or
it depends on you would say what the joke is.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's certain jokes that ain't jokes.
Yeah. They're a little too serious to be funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it don't make we call it to pretend that it's a joke.
Yeah, I'm with you now, man. I'm with you now. And I mean, the whole. If you listen to Mr. Art this morning as he gave a brief overview of the day. It hasn't been around that long when you think about it, as it came to the U.S. I mean, seemingly in Europe and thereabouts, England in particular, it might have been around a bit more, but part of this world, it really never made its appearance till not that long ago. But yet now it's finding its way in the headlines. Anita?
I was going to ask you, Carl, if somebody fooled him yet today.
I've been fooled all year round.
Yes, today would be no different, right?
Yeah, they say promises are comfort to a fool, so
man. Anyway, man, take care of yourself. All right.
You too.
All right, blessings. Have a good weekend. Thanks.
Yeah.
Take care. Thanks for calling.
Hey, let's take another caller, Mr. Anita. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. Good afternoon, Ms. Anita, and to all our listeners.
And
Good
to you,
afternoon,
Mr.
sir.
Raymond. Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, hi, Mr. Raymond.
Yes, hello there, Anita. Welcome to Radio Cayman. Nice to hear from you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, got some good news about the oil price has dropped considerably today. For a barrel of oil, it's gone down to $99.23. That's the West Texas Intermediate American crude oil, which makes the gasoline and diesel that we mostly get here in the Cayman Islands. So that's good news. It was going up and keep on going, and things were very worrisome, but now the price has decreased. It started to tumble down.
Wow.
The oil prices tumbled and gone down to $99.23. That is a result as the U.S. strategic petroleum reserves have been opened up to provide roughly 1 million barrels per day from the U.S. strategic petroleum reserves for the next 6 months. That is in reserve where they had stored up. For the next 6 months, they will be releasing 1 million barrels per day.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, we're just acknowledging, we appreciate you sharing that, reminding us, huh?
Yes, sir. And they're supposed to release up to 180 million barrels from the U.S. Reserves, which will carry down the price of gasoline and diesel. It was continuing to skyrocket Cayman Islands and other places in the U.S., but now this is good news. And also to say that about, you heard me say on here about 2 weeks ago that when a war or something happens, any mishap in the world, they uses that as an excuse where the oil companies can actually make billions of dollars off of these disasters happening around the world. Correct? That's what happens. There was really no shortage. The Russian crude oil that was bought by Chevron, Shell, and ExxonMobil from Russia to the United States, most of it have been delivered, and there are ships still en route coming with it. The ban has not reached until about the 22nd of April, and here we are thinking there's a shortage of crude oil. Not such thing, and now they're increased their imports from Point-au-Pierre, Trinidad, and they're increased their imports from Guyana. That's their
that's right.
Country. And also from Carinas in Colombia, going to Texas City and Baytown and Chalmette, Louisiana, and also from Brazil, going to Pascagoula, Mississippi for Chevron, various other places. So that amount of about 2 million barrels per day that was coming from Russia has been delivered and still going to be delivered, most of it, while they have said that there is a crude oil shortage because of the war. Using that so the companies can jack up the prices. You get the story now?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly so. And quite an interesting thing that may trigger down into the increase in container shipment. One of the biggest container ships in the world has been aground in the Chesapeake Bay since the 13th of this month. And they have used 5 tugs to move it on Tuesday afternoon. To try and move it, they failed to move it. They used 6 tugs yesterday, and they failed to move it. And because they used that as an excuse again, because the ship is aground with 4,964 containers of mostly Chinese products, radios, television, all kinds of electronic equipment and hardware products from drills and everything. So they will use that to impact the food chain line to say that because that ship went aground, okay, we have to increase the food stocks and merchandise such as hardware products because that ship goes aground. But they just use that as an excuse. Anyway, that is a big problem. The ship is almost 1,100 feet long and about 167 feet wide, and they're dredging around the ship. And what happened, they're using tugs that are too small to move a monster ship. So that's a big problem they have now in the Chesapeake Bay. It was coming out from Baltimore with a pilot on board, and the ship went too close to the shallow at 13 knots, about 15 miles an hour, and driven it hard aground into the mud. So that's a major problem that America has now to get that ship refloated. And like I say, anything like that happens, they use it as an excuse to jack up the prices on goods. You get the story now, right?
We're certainly listening to you, man, and I think the U.S. tapping into its reserves there. But then, from your perspective, do you expect to see prices, even though at the pumps in particular, do you expect to see the prices come down?
I don't expect to see it in a short time, but it should be. We're supposed to get the benefit passed on to us in the Cayman Islands. Whatever happens in the U.S., if it go up, it go up here. If it go down there, it's supposed to go down here. So that's how it needs to be done. And what it was amounting to charter one of those tankers that brings us the gasoline and diesel was ranging around $10,000 to $15,000 per day. And since the war, the price went up to charter one of them per day, $15,000 to $40,000 per day for a 600-foot, 50,000-ton tanker. So that would weigh into all what they use to say that why the price has to go up, et cetera, et cetera. But now the price of oil has gone down, and we should benefit from that, definitely.
Yeah, well, I think you've always been cognizant of it, man. Any other thoughts you want to share with us, Mr. Raymond?
Yes, there's quite a number of things, but I need to give somebody else a chance. Okay, I was contacted on Wednesday afternoon from family members of a missing Honduran man in a boat, him alone, had engine failure and got adrift. And I was actually on the bluff, and I had to rush home, and I contacted the cruise ship in Georgetown, MSC Seahorse, and advised the captain to, when he leaves Georgetown, to go on a search down toward that way. And I contacted about 10 other ships, and then later that night I got a call from a family member saying that he was found. I don't know who it was found, the person, but he's safe and sound now. He went adrift on Saturday night and was found, I think, on the Wednesday night. Wednesday night he was found somewhere around Honduras. So that was one of my recent contacts, to be the savior of the seas on the ocean, as I am always here, readily to dispatch ships and search and rescue. For 42 years, Raymond been carrying out this.
You know, that's an effort, I think, you know.
Good job, Mr. Raymond.
Yeah, amazing, Mr. Raymond. And thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Any families, you know, feel that they can call on you first, man. Blessings to you, Mr. Raymond. Respectful. Let's take the final break, Mr. Nida.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Raymond.
Thank you. Happy weekend and good luck. Many more. All the best.
All right, as the say, standing by on 16. We're going to pause and take that break, though. When we come back, more talk today.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram. All of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable. MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Busy, busy, busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Tune in Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. for the Daily Sports Report, covering local, regional, and international sports. Proudly brought to you by Dr. Wayne Porter, offering a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today.
Hello, Cayman. This is Governor Roper, here to remind you that there are only a few days left to enter the Cayman Platinum Cake Competition. Celebrate Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee and win the chance to have your winning recipe recreated and served at Government House this June at the Queen's birthday party. Submit your recipe today at gov.ky/Jubilee, where you can learn more about the competition and other exciting events. You have until Sunday, the 3rd of April. Good luck, Cayman, and happy baking.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. And I want to say a special thanks to Miss Anita. And if she would, allow me to say, see how God provides even before you ask and you don't realize there's a need, there's provision, right? So a good colleague, over at K's Cakes and Treats, it doesn't have to be Valentine's, it doesn't have to be, Christmas. It just has to be, in the English language, a day ending in Y, to show a love and appreciation. And she's so graciously and lovingly shared her wonderful baked goods with us. Right?
And thanks for sharing, Sterling.
Of course.
Cassava cake?
Cassava
I
cake.
never say no to cassava cake.
Yeah, and I think this is where we see the industriousness and entrepreneurship within our people, right? And like I said, K's, Cakes and Trees,
What do you?
K's, Cakes and K's.
K's, okay,
K.
Miss K.
Yeah, like
Okay.
K, yeah. And
thank you, Miss K. Looks good.
It's amazing, huh? How people have that kindness, that hospitality, that loveliness that we see so evident in our people. And sometimes we just take it for granted. And if you ever ate a cassava cake, it takes a bit of effort. If you ever made one, it takes a little bit more, right? So, what a wonderful day to end a Friday. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sterling. I want to say thanks for the invite again, for having me on Talk Today. I never thought I'd sit with you and talk today and have a chat, because I keep away from talk shows.
Yeah, but you host the Buzz. I mean, that's a
different ball game. That's a different ball game.
That is challenging. Man.
It is challenging, but I'll tell you what. A lot of people don't realize. I'm sure our listeners, not even our listeners, realize how much work it takes to host a show. It sounds easy. No, it sounds easy. For me, I always think, it's easy.
Yeah.
But it's not. It takes a lot out of you. Sometimes the night before the show, I'll be honest, I'm nervous, especially if I'm dealing with a topic that I'm not familiar with. It makes me nervous.
Just the night before? I'm nervous the night before, during the show, and after.
That can happen too. But you know what? Our listeners, and of course our viewers, they make it easy for us.
Yeah. And I think this is why, perhaps as I said yesterday, as we close out, the official month of celebration for honoring women, that I want women to keep the bar high, right? Today, as we talk about the talk show, more people consider the media. But I'll come back to that thought as we take this other call.
Sure.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon to you, Sterling Gray, and good afternoon to Miss Anita there.
Good afternoon. Is
Wonderful
that Mr. Hurlston?
You're on there.
Yes, sir.
That's a familiar voice. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, wonderful to hear you on there. One of my favorite, not my favorite, persons on radio.
What?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Well, thank you, sir.
The music you play on Saturdays, on other days and all that, you play a lot of Caymanian music.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure and privilege.
It's the Dalmeen, and the guitarist here is MacArthur Manderson. No
Cayman
one
Moon.
mentioned
We'll have
his
Sterling
name.
sing.
MacArthur Manderson, the guitar. Sterling Gray knows that, knew him too.
Yep.
Old friend, he plays all the lead music there. The runs. And with Mr. Dalmeen, and Dalmeen is actually a cousin of mine. His mother was a Hurlston. And also to hear the young ladies on there, I've had the privilege of meeting most of them. They always come out here to me at Peter St. James, and even at Miss Teens. It's wonderful to listen to them talking, and of course to see them also, and having my picture taken with them, that makes my day. Old man like me.
You said that. You said that very slowly, Mr. Hurlston.
They're so lucid, and they speak so very well, and intellectually and everything. I'm very, very happy to see that with them, and I think it's a very good thing. Now, as we keep it, clean as possible, and also, someone was, and I'm glad to hear my friend Mr. Raymond calling about this thing. People have got to dispel these myths and understand how this thing goes. Oil companies are powerful. They are very wealthy. ExxonMobil was for many years most powerful company in the world, the wealthiest company. And so they had to go from GM, and then there are other companies. AT&T was there for me. This is where it lies, the money thing. As I said, as soon as Putin realizes that they're rapidly running out of money, we see the arguments now about paying them in rubles instead of this is the whole thing. It's money. It's very sad, tragic human life. Taking little children's lives, disrupted, killed, and hospitals of that. But this is it. Money is a powerful weapon. Powerful weapon. With the gentleman who was talking about holidays and all that, yeah, that's your contractual obligation. You work with a company, they say you got to work on holidays and take another in lieu of pay. Now they're turned down the double time thing and say in lieu of pay. I guess private companies can do what they feel like doing with that part of it. But they have to recompense you. And this is it. You're signed on, and there are certain people who have to work on holidays. We know there's certain people who have to work on Sundays. They don't work certain people on Saturdays. And many people work on Saturdays. We know it's a very, very busy day. And no holiday falls on a Saturday or a Sunday. But except for Christmas Day, it can. But then they give you another day anyhow. So the thing with it, we are not an American colony or state or Commonwealth state or anything like that. So we don't have to obey those rules. That's put in by American companies who are here. They can give you the day off. You're working for them and so forth. And then you'd have to work a Cayman holiday, which that's just simple. It's what you have contracted your obligations to them when you decide to take a job. And that's how it is. I can't see any problem anyone should have with that. That's the way it is. You have the Good Friday. Everything is shut down on Christmas Day. And then people start back on Christmas Day. Their places in the hospitality world have to be open on Christmas Day and so forth. That is very important. So on restaurants also, family things and Thanksgiving Day and so forth. It's not a holiday here, but some people do give it as a holiday. It's just all a matter of your arrangements with your employer. That's the whole thing. But it's wonderful to hear you on there, Miss Anita. And
thank you, sir.
Your mutual friend, the Jimmy, we know him as Captain Dawson and Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy, yeah.
Don't let him ever start telling you a story. He'll never finish it.
I know.
He started one telling me one.
It's like how he trying to fix that car.
30 years ago, I never finished it yet. You can ask him about that one. They're about 26, at least 27 years ago. He never finished it.
It's always good to listen to hear stories from people like Mr. Jimmy, Mr. Varian over in West Bay, and just about Miss Georgette. I get to hear some of those stories on Saturdays.
Yes. Oh, yeah. There's several I can go into, but it takes too long someday. And some of them are not fit for radio, I guess. But anyhow, that's the way it is. Thank you so very much for the wonderful job you both do.
All right.
Really wonderful. Just remember to mention Mr. MacArthur, Manderson's name sometime when you're playing. And also, I think Elgin Wells was playing the rhythm guitar for
Mr. Bunny Miles.
And there are others.
Right. Yes.
Playing rhythm guitar and backup guitar for some of those songs. And MacArthur played for the Barefoot Man also.
That's right.
Another well-known, very good guitarist from West Bay was Philip Bodden.
Yes.
Many guitar music for the Barefoot Man.
Yeah, you had plenty nights of the holiday. I remember that. Yeah.
God bless you.
Blessings, sir.
Same to you, sir. Have a good weekend.
Good reminder. Well, Amita, I hope that you will accept the invitation publicly to come back again, even if it's a year from now, but hopefully be more frequently.
Well, I had fun, to be honest with you. I can do this.
You can do this?
No, I'm just
you
joking.
got this,
no,
girl.
no,
You got
no,
this.
no.
All right, so
No, it was fun.
Tuesday morning, you got Buzz?
Buzz again. Mm-hmm.
All right, Tuesday
Business
morning,
Buzz,
7:30?
yes. Yeah, I want to say thanks to all the listeners who tune in every Tuesday and Thursday and join us on the Business Buzz.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't always take calls, but sometimes we do have callers, and we appreciate that.
Well, they have a wonderful
them.
host, great guests, and you guys, you and Susan, do a wonderful job with the production. So, awesome.
Susan is a woman, man. I can't live without Susan. I'll never be able to do the program without Susan. I'm at a point now where I just come in and just, be the spokeswoman.
I need to get a Susan too.
You need to, honestly, it'll make your life so much easier, Sterling.
Yeah?
Yeah, but you have to start paying from your pocket.
Is that how you do it, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, you have to do that.
All right,
but Susan is great. I mean, she's great with producing a show.
There you go.
Awesome.
Me, myself, and our whole team, we do a great job.
Thanks again to Susan. Susan, thank you. I know you're off today, so enjoy.
I hope she's off, not working like the rest of you civil servants when you're off constantly working.
No, Susan's always working. I have to tell you, whether vacation or not, she's always producing. She's always
constantly.
doing something. Yeah.
I mean,
and we appreciate that.
And I say this sincerely and publicly, and hopefully, people appreciate it. Like, even last evening, not to talk about the school, but an educator, has to turn in early because even though I may not have particular things on the schedule of today, as an off day, it's still working, and that's very much like many people in this country who are working in different sectors on their weekends, holidays, even their vacation days, they still work. Because it's
called loyalty.
It's that
Sterling.
diligence and that dedication, and for that, I'm very proud, and I commend all of us. And it's that work ethic that makes our society better, because those around us, are inspired by it. Whether it's our children or friends or their children. And again,
you realize you're over time, right?
By
is it because of me?
4 minutes and 30 seconds. But no, it's depending which clock you look at, right?
Oh, okay.
But I'm so touched that not just that you guys would join us, but this wonderful show of love and appreciation from Kay's Cakes and Treats.
Thank you, Miss Kay's. Sterling shared his treats with me.
These things that go, it touches you, unexpected, and such a wonderful way. It's a loveliness to be fine.
Just they show their appreciation.
Yeah, man.
Our listeners show their appreciation, and it's appreciated.
Well, they do, and we do appreciate it. So
we love our listeners.
We love our listeners.
As radio came out, we love our listeners.
So Monday, please join Mr. Art for the record. If you missed him this morning, go on YouTube. He was talking a number of good things as usual. So see all of our programming on YouTube, and then of course Monday being the first Monday for the month, it is our monthly Mental Health Matters show. And I'm very grateful to Dr. Alexandra Barton for ably facilitating. That's an awesome show. A lot of reading and research that I have to do, but it educates and informs me, but also makes me a better position. So I'm interested and intrigued by every session that we have. So that's Monday.
Well, thank you, Sterling, for doing this every day, Monday to Friday. You could be doing something. You could be throwing that fishing line out there. But you're here to.
And my brothers would probably, thank you. They would probably call you and say, "Yeah, we invited him early to go fishing," and he say, "Boy, too busy." That'll change, God's willing. And I'll start to do what you said to me. Got one life to live, enjoy it.
That's right.
I'm learning to do that. I'll try.
All right, we'll see.
With that in mind, my good friends, we maybe invite you to enjoy yourselves, whether you're at a fete this evening or whether you're fellowshipping and your homes as you enjoy your Sabbath, or whether you're assembled with friends and family in your backyards, running a fish tea. Come together in love and in unity, and a strong appreciation for one and another.
And don't fool anybody this weekend. Thanks to Paula Carl. Thank you, Silver Fox. Sterling, forget to say thanks.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah.
He does all the time. I'm just kidding.
But for this, I am grateful. The eternal love and the promise of the hereafter. Until Monday, my friends, be blessed.
Thank you.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway.
Sterling.
Open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza. Your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village.